Well, hurry up and use your veto, because I'll argue with you about it, but I don't want to waste that much time.
I don't know if I want. You don't like it, but I think it's amazing, and it's one of the most beautiful animes that has been made. Like I know you finished it and you don't really like the content of its story or what makes it, but you have to admit visually it was incredibly impressive.
Oh, I think it looks good. I just think that the story is trash.
Yeah, well
I
it's
I,
it's very
I think that
nonsensical.
I think the justification was like we're gonna make some bullshit, like we're gonna make up some bullshit in this universe. Like so you okay, I'm gonna say
I'm
something very controversial that's gonna make you really mad.
gonna fight
Okay?
you. We're about to fight.
So we have Darling and the Franks on the list, right?
Uh-huh. Don't you say
I
it.
feel like the way you feel about Darling and the Franks is the way I feel about this fucking show.
Really? I mean, at least
I'm not saying they're on the same level, but I feel like my ire for the story and like for its justification, and it's super tropey too. Like
Gurren Lagann?
and yeah, and the thing, and we've already talked this before. I hate when they just Deus Ex Machina their way through the show.
Yeah, you don't like spiral energy. You don't like that concept of or like them just being like, "Well, fuck it, we're going to do it." Like cuz that's the whole thing is it builds from and now I'm going to be on the defense a little bit here, but it builds from like these people underground and their first inkling of human spirit or spiral energy, right? Simon being a digger. It a
Whoa,
digger.
what did you just
Yeah,
say?
yeah, a digger with a D. That's a hard D. Um, their first instance of spiral energy is escaping and going to the surface, and then what it does is it expounds on that. They then steal one of the robots because their human will to do so. No one's ever done that before. Oh, but we'll do whatever we want. Who the fuck do you think I am? I'm Kamina, right? And then I feel like just the spoiler alert, watching Kamina die and Simon have his character arc and then have everything finally like work out for the humans and then this anti-spiral guy coming out of nowhere and being like, "Oh, well Nia is a bad guy, like Simon's going to have like a good end but like also like a really bittersweet end." That was my first experience with like an anime, and it's 24 episodes, right? It's not like a long investment of a series. It was my first experience with an anime that really just controlled me emotionally. I was like just all over the place with that one, like crying on episode 7, cheering on episode 12. Like for me, it was an emotional roller coaster, and that's what I think attaches to it to me so heavily.
So I think that if Kamina didn't die and the character development that followed that, this show would be average.
Yeah,
I because I don't think there would be anything redeeming about it. Well, nothing redeeming, but like nothing to set it apart from anything else.
yeah, I think Kamina's death was one of the biggest parts of that anime. People still celebrate his death, like on his anniversary. People will
Me
post.
too. Me too.
You do too.
Yeah, because that's when I stopped watching it. I was like, good.
Good. The best character is dead. Oh man, it was
Most annoying, the dumbest character in the
what?
show is
He was
dead.
great. He was all bravado. He is the Johnny Bravo of anime. No, that's Space
You
Dandy,
think?
but we couldn't put Space
Oh,
Dandy on here. I should have put Space Dandy on here, but Space Dandy would be for me excellent watch again, but it doesn't it didn't have the overarching storyline that Gurren Lagann did. Anyway, we'll stop talking about Gurren Lagann. It's obviously very polarizing for
uh,
me and Zach, or me and Piero. But
wait. Is this where you're gonna use your veto?
yes, I'll use my veto here with um,
Are you sure?
uh, looking at.
Positive?
Uh, I know where the other place you're gonna fight me on is, but I will use it on Gurren. Where would you actually? Before I use my veto, where would you put Gurren Lagann?
Maybe somewhere around No Game, No Life. Like I understand what it is, and I understand why you like it. I just think that there are flaws in the show.
If
and it's sort of one of the things that made me like not like One Punch Man in the beginning, but
yeah,
then I warmed up to it. I didn't warm up to this show.
gotcha. Yeah,
And
I'm gonna use my
like
veto. I'll keep it in. I think it's a work of art, and the movies are really good. And I don't know. I think as a whole, it was an amazing production. I hate robot anime. I'm like so against. Like I don't like robots. I think they're dumb. Like,
oh
but
well, they're gonna come for you, Chris.
I know. I watched the thing on AI and Chat GPT and all that shit. It's scary. That's why I don't like them. I just have this innate feeling that the robot uprising is coming. Hey, what's this show? This show, have you heard of this show, Made in Abyss? It, it looks
Put it
like
at the top.
just
Put it at
put.
the top.
It's better than everything.
But
It's
we already kind of talked about this in the last video, but like just go watch it now. Just load up Prime, watch the first season. If we're wrong, you can torch us in the comments. Like I don't care. Like I know I'm not wrong. Like
yeah.
I don't care if you're super into, oh, I only watch fighting anime. Oh, I only watch shonen. Like it doesn't matter. Like even if you're into mecha, it doesn't matter. Like I think that this show transcends boundaries
I, I'll.
in so many things.
I actually I completely agree with you on the boundary transcending thing, and it's almost like it's not transcending boundaries because it's appealing to everything. It's not like pandering to everyone. Like, oh, we have to check all the boxes to make sure everyone likes this. It's literally just so expansive, creative, and original. It's it's like what Arcane did for CG, but in the sense of it breathing new life into anime.
I think the thing that this show does better than most shows is makes you empathize and connect with the character because you're not going to always sympathize or empathize. I
Yeah.
can't remember. My brain is a little off right now, but your ability to relate to the struggles these characters are going through, and like I know we talked about when we talked about ReZero, it's like torture porn. This is not like that because you care about these characters surviving. When you're watching
Yeah.
ReZero, it's like watching a train wreck. Whereas like when you're watching Made in Abyss, you want them to make it. You're hoping with everything you have that these two or three right now make it.
Yeah.
And it's like you want to do everything in your power. It's like we have to protect these people.
Well, it
Like
the fact that they're children, right? And it's like you're watching these children keep the positive attitude of exploration through the extreme, and when I say extreme, I mean it, adversities that they face on their adventure. It's like uplifting. The difference is in ReZero, he's like a simp trying to get girls, and like he needs to
yeah,
say the right
he's a
thing.
piece of shit. These kids are fucking innocent. Like
Yeah,
they're experiencing all these things through the eyes of an innocent, and it's like that's what it is. It's like you you keep wondering if these characters are going to get that loss of innocence, right, to
hmm,
transcend into adulthood. And it's like, no, we have to protect them. They have to, not that they have to stay pure, but you want to shield them from all of the darkness that is in the. Is it actually called the abyss, or is it called like the crate? I can't remember what it's
I
actually
think
called.
it is called the Abyss. I think it has
But
different names
we're
as you go
trying,
further, but
yeah, we're trying to protect them like everything we can, and it's like, it's you just care so much about the characters, and like
and
if you
they managed to do that with every character they introduced too. It's wild. Like in the movie, in an hour and a half, they introduce a character, and if you've seen the first season, you're like, oh no, please don't introduce this character, right? Because you know like what it's about to like happen, but at the same time, you're like, I need to like, I don't know. You just have to watch it. It's really good. The character designs are good. The the way they
can talk about
act and
music.
the music is amazing. I mean, we don't have to talk about the music. You can hear the first song that they play, and when they do the opening, it's literally like watching a Miyazaki Final Fantasy. It's everything combined. It's beautiful. It's took I don't know the art direction. Everything is great. Go watch it for the second time.
Uh, I I I almost feel like, okay, before we move on to Erased, I almost feel like it should be in the appreciate but wouldn't watch again because I would never watch it again.
You would never
Like,
watch Made in Abyss again.
no, because I feel like because it's on Prime, like you could do watch parties on Twitch, and I'd be like, okay, but we're not going to do a watch party for this because I don't want to live through this again.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna do something else, but you guys can watch this. I want to know how you react to this, but I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. I'll read the comments as things happen and respond to that.
Uh,
Um, okay,
Erased. I think Erased is better than 5 centimeters.
yeah, I think it's in one of the top two. Like, I mean, in the top two categories
Yeah.
because it is very much like not it's not made in abyss quality. It doesn't have like music and stuff like that, but you take something like it's not the first anime to have time travel, right? Like Tokyo Revengers has time travel, and it is nothing like this. And
Yeah.
and I think that it's so self-contained. I think it's only like 12 episodes or something like that of watching this kid try to save this girl from his childhood and
It
like
it's such a,
he
it's like ReZero because he has those powers to like, oh, I'm gonna try to go back and fix things, but it's good. It's like whereas like they torture um they torture the shit out of Subaru in ReZero to try to grow his character. This character actually grows because he's trying to fix something. His growth comes from the discoveries he makes while moving through time, and it is, yeah, it's really good. It's super emotional.
and this one's on Netflix too. Like if you're looking for it, like it's an easy watch. It's something that you guys can like you or with your significant other can watch like a couple episodes a night or something like that, and knock it out in a week
Mm.
because it very it's like a murder mystery. You want to know how it plays out, but it's very heavy at the same time because
Yeah.
you're watching kids the same way you're watching Made in Abyss, but you have an adult who's like trying to influence the world through being a kid, but it's like, how do I exert my will when I can't?
Matt.
Because like I'm still a kid, nobody's gonna respect me, right? Like they're not gonna listen to me.
Yeah. No, it's funny because it's kind of like butterfly effect too. It has that kind of like things he does in the past. He's trying to affect the future with things he's done in the past, and so the consequences of that are unknown. You don't know how it's necessarily. You're just trying to manipulate it, and it's interesting. It has a lot to do with like natural, like how fate evolves and like accepting the things that happen. It's really good. It has some really mature themes. It's really good.
Where are we gonna put this next one? It's kind of an average show for me.
Yeah, it's pretty average for me. I like it. It's fun. Um,
I,
it's
I think it's self-aware.
yeah. I think out of all of because there's a couple shows like this, like Nagatoro, Watamode. Trying to think of the others. There's like, but it's like basically like the shut-in girl character. It's like the inverse of like the Mary Sue. Um, what's it called? Female protagonist or like the princess female protagonist. It's kind of like an anti-princess.
Well, it's like I know so many girls like her,
Yeah.
where it's just like there's no social. What happened to the
Yeah.
social
What
skills?
happened?
But yeah, I'm fine with it putting it down there, like
Uh,
wherever you want. It's very
uh,
much an average show to me. It's not a background show because like if I'm watching it, I want to watch it, but it's just like there's so many cringe moments in it, and you're just like, ugh, ugh. You're just like pausing. You're like, what's about to happen. You're just, ugh. Hang
oh.
on, I need a minute before we do this.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I'll put it there. I mean, I think I'd rather watch it than God of High School. But I mean, I watch it for almost the same reason I'd watch La Blue Girl, and I'd rather watch La Blue Girl if I was given the choice.
Where are we putting Street Fighter 2?
This is dope. I love Street Fighter Show, and it's excellent. It's either here or here. It's because it's like it was one of the first like animated like or anime fighting because they did it with DOA and they did it with Tekken too, right? And out of the three, as the Street Fighter one is easily the strongest, and the animation is really cool. I don't know. I really like it, and you get to see Chun Li's boobies. There should definitely be a booby tier.
They,
Okay,
they,
you know what? I
they
think it's
fight,
gonna
they
go
fight.
down.
I think they fight Akuma, right, at the end.
Yeah, yeah. The animation's super cool. Like, I think I don't know. Where would you put it? It's either here or here for
Uh,
me.
I think it's at the top of Appreciate but Wouldn't Watch Again. I think that it's better than Gangsta and My Hero and like Digimon and like all the things in this tier.
Yeah, I'll agree.
But I think it's because it's like we said a lot of the times, like when they're self-contained like that,
Hmm.
it makes it easier
Yeah, I agree.
to like really because it's a movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so like the fact that it like doesn't it doesn't get to the point where it's just they're just manufacturing like issues in the show
Yeah.
is like I think does it justice.
I agree. Um, so this one's an interesting choice for me because it is one of the best shows you can watch for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like the first run through of this show is you're like, this is the best music show I've ever seen in my life. This is what music must be like. This is what it's like being in a band in Japan. This is, like this is what it would be like to be a young kid learning guitar and trying to make it. And me being a musician, it hits even harder for me. But I don't. Here's the thing: is like I would put it here, but I don't know if I want to watch it again.
Yeah,
I
that's the thing. Like I really like it, but I probably wouldn't watch it again.
But I would say I think it is a beautiful work of art, though. I think it's the best
I
music
think it
anime.
I think it looks like dog shit.
It looks yes, it looks like dog shit, but it sounds really good. That's the difference. It's like
I
the
you, you
I
know you know I don't think it sounds that good anymore. Like, have you watched it recently?
well, I mean, if you that's what I mean. Like you can't watch it a second time. The first time you watch it and you experience those songs, and like the actual voice actors singing and everything like that, it's really good. Like you really get into it. It's like watching a music documentary or something like that, right? Um, and yeah, the animation is something to lack, but it actually does animate the guitars and the drums. Like it's pretty true to form on that. And
Yeah, they spent all the budget on that instead of animating characters' faces.
yeah, they're not wrong, but and the storyline really helps. I think the story and the music elevates it to a point that's like I don't know. I kind of want to put it here, but at the same time, I agree with you that it doesn't belong here. And I want to put it here because it's really good, but I don't think I'd watch it again. I think it's probably the top of Appreciate, but wouldn't watch again.
And I'm trying to figure out which shows came out at the same time as this show, like at the exact same. Uh,
Uh,
Gundam Seed. Yeah, not a lot of stuff coming out right here.
kind of a.
At this fall of 2004. The Beautiful Joe anime.
Hell yeah. Why isn't that on here?
There's only so much room in the unwatchable category,
Okay,
right?
a silent voice, Zach.
I
I don't think I could watch it again. It was too sad.
I
It's like it just hurts to watch this main character experience what he experiences.
you okay, so I have like a pretty different opinion than a lot of people about this show,
Uh-huh.
this movie. I hate him.
Ah, that's funny. Yeah, he is a
He's
shitty kind
he's
of
a
person.
he's a he's a horrible character.
He is. He's a
And
shitty
like,
person, and empathizing with him or feeling sorry for him gets to be difficult because he always makes so many wrong choices. But
well, and it's like I the thing is, like before, the big shift in the movie,
spoiler
I
alert.
feel I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I feel like he deserves everything that happens to him.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I agree.
And it's like when you watch that first half of the movie and you see that, you're just like, I don't know. Like when it got to the end, I was like, you don't deserve this. You didn't do anything. You're like asking for forgiveness, but she doesn't have to forgive you. Like realistically, it frustrates me that the show is not about her.
Yeah.
And I, hmm,
Well, I think that's what makes her more valuable as um she's kind of like the manic pixie dream girl character in this, the MPD, and he's not allowed to have that, so that's why, spoiler alert, she dies. So but yeah, I think him seeking forgiveness and then not getting that from her and having her die and all that stuff, and then like
but
him, wait, isn't that what happens?
no, she doesn't die.
I thought she died.
No,
Oh, I haven't seen this one in a while. Tell me what happens.
she goes to kill herself, and he goes to save her, and he saves her, but he ends up in a coma.
Oh, I thought she died. I'm nice to be thinking.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't die.
I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. Anyway, now that I've given this, that's a spoiler for a different anime, and if you can figure
Mm,
out what it is, put it in the comments. And don't tell Piro, because I want him to watch that
mm.
anime. Um,
Hang on, I'm gonna Google it right now.
Google what? That anime that what I just described? Or what happens?
No one died in a silent voice.
Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what happened, but that scene is very iconic. I think that it's I would rather
I think it goes like right here.
I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna spend my veto. Did I use my veto on the beginning? All right, never mind. Um,
It's gonna be here. You're gonna use it here. Because I would put this fucking down in an unwatchable. I hated this show.
I think that the show was good until they jumped the shark like halfway through,
It's
and then
like
by
it's
then
like
I was pot committed and I wanted to finish it.
I would put it right there. Kabanari looked better than Darling in the Franxx. 02 is literally the only redeeming quality of that show.
I feel like it has a very Promised Neverland like feel to it in like the sense that these characters are become aware of their own mortality
Mm-hmm.
and not in the way all of us do. Um, I mean,
Would you like to use your veto on Darling in the Franxx?
I don't think it's like unwatchable. I think it's just middle of the road, really. I think it's like one of the two categories above it. Like it's either like at the bottom of average or it's like at the top of background show because like it's not awful. Like whereas like most of these shows in watchable category are because I remember when we were watching it because we watched the show together
Yeah,
and
and I was
we were
so
very
mad.
interested. We're very interested until they explained what was going on, and then it was like, what the fuck?
Well, I feel like
Like they built it up, and it was such a huge letdown. But I don't think it was like Cabaneri because like once they introduced that character, the show was shit.
well, yeah, but I feel like that's what happened in this one too. It was like you got like 4 or 5, 6 episodes in, right? And then all of a sudden it reveals something.
It's like episode 12. It's like halfway through the show.
Well, my point is, it's like it reveals it, right? Or it gives you something new, and the show just falls apart. And I feel like both of them do the same exact thing, but Cabaneri looks better doing it.
I mean, we can like I'm not going to use my veto on this show. Like I'm fine with wherever. It's just
I'll put it in
I don't
background
think it's as
shows. I'll move it to background shows for you.
I don't think it's the worst show. Like I've
I
okay.
hated it.
Here's the thing. Like I dropped Doctor Stone like after 4 episodes. I watched like one full episode of Boruto. I watched like 5 minutes of Black Clover. I went further in Darling in the Franxx than I did in Combinary.
It's true. Okay, I'll give you
And
that.
like and there was like more content for Combinary, right? Like there was a movie too, right?
Yeah, but I didn't watch the movie.
Yeah, I don't watch it either. But like it's like once they introduced our faux Sephiroth character, it was like I don't
Do
care.
you think it's better than ReZero?
I would say probably not. I think that the story doesn't do like that big break really doesn't help the story, and
Yeah.
there's not as many redeeming characters that are not fucking Subaru in ReZero. Um, so I'm fine with that, but I think that Darling in the Franxx is very much a love story anime, and if you go into it looking at it that way, I think your interpretation of it is different.
Yeah, I agree.
But like we go into it knowing it's a mecha anime and it's a apocalypse anime.
It's weird. It's just weird. It's like
Well,
I don't
and
know.
it's made isn't it made by the Gurren Lagann people?
I think so. I don't remember. I'd have to look. It's made by one of the popular studios, one of the big ones, but I don't remember which one. It's either Trigger or I don't remember what the other one is. But Trigger, I think, is who did. No, Trigger didn't do. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. I'm not gonna try to bullshit.
Oh yeah, it was A1 Pictures and Trigger.
Okay.
Um, and you can tell based on the mechas,
Yeah,
right?
that's how you tell. Is exactly.
ああ、そうだ。螺旋の友が待つ星々だ。